Here we are in the historic cathedral in the city of Gloucester, and I'm joined today by my esteemed guest, Imam Hassan Ghodawala. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Imam Adam.
My first question for you today is, why am I doing this interview with an Imam in the grounds of a cathedral?
Alhamdulillah, Imam Adam, we've spent over 2 years building a strong relationship with people of different religions and faith leaders. And for the last 16 months, we've mainly focused on building a very strong, healthy relationship with Christian leaders and the Gloucester Cathedral. Just under a year ago, I was invited by the Gloucester Cathedral to attend the inauguration of the first female bishop, the Right Reverend Rachel Kelwick, and I was honoured to have been invited as a special guest to her inauguration. That then did break down so many barriers, and it made it comfortable for me to then visit the cathedral on a regular basis, and for the cathedral to make that return trip to the mosque.
Yeah, so here you've got a positive example of working together with different faith institutions, and you're finding that not only is it a means for you to come into the cathedral and share your perspective, but also they're sending hundreds upon hundreds of school children to the mosque so they can widen their horizons also. How important is this work, what you're involved in?
I believe religions foster a good relationship when they work in coalition with each other. So that then means it's important for the mosque to work closely with the churches, and then for the churches to work closely with the mosques. So obviously we're inviting the religious leaders to our faith schools in Gloucester and also to the mosque to deliver short lectures and talks to Muslim students, and then in return Muslim leaders like myself are invited to the church to then deliver lectures to a group of people, or possibly the King's students at the cathedral.
So would you say it's not about saying that we all believe in the same, because we're very different in the faiths which we come from, but at least we can recognise that we have some common challenges and areas where if we do come together and work together, the impact, the positive impact, can be much more. Do you not get any criticism from elements within your community?
Initially, it's any change that comes about within an Islamic institution is difficult for people to digest, and that's the same with any institution, whether it's in the banking sector or the health sector or in a religious institution. So initially, when the number of visitors were increasing, then obviously people raised their eyebrows and question what is the need of this. But over time, looking at what's in the news and what's in the media on a day-to-day basis, people have realized that there's a bigger need for people to foster relationships with the wider community, and this starts with working with young school children.
How was the decision made for you to come to Gloucester, and how long ago was that?
Straight after the month of Ramadan in 2009, I moved to Hull to work at the Jami Masjid, and I worked there for just over 4.5 years. And I actually built my confidence at the mosque working with a police officer working in the community cohesion department. Her name was Sharon Hoof, and sadly Sharon Hoof passed away very recently due to several illnesses. She is an iconic figure to me. She is a role model to me, because I believe all the hurdles which I came across and all the barriers which I came through was down to her efforts and her motivating me into working in outreach areas.
So in the city of Gloucester, it's very obvious for anybody who first comes here that there is so much history. You know, it's a city with I'm sure many hidden gems. What's your favourite part of the city of Gloucester?
There are two iconic areas in the city of Gloucester. The first would be the place where we're sitting right now, in the compounds of the Gloucester Cathedral, and the second is the King's Home Stadium, the home of Gloucester Rugby.
Now, I also understand that you're involved in a charity which delivers food packs to needy people. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Roughly 2 years ago, a group of volunteers brought forward some ideas on how we can positively make an impact in our community by doing good. So the first idea that came forward was to provide food to needy people in the city. So I came up with the decision of providing food parcels for needy people in Gloucester on a referral basis. So roughly each month we're taking up to 8 referrals and delivering food parcels to either vulnerable adults, families, or other individuals whose benefits have been cut. So this has been running for just over 2 years now, and alhamdulillah we've had support not only from the Muslim community but also the wider community.
I believe you're also on social media. You're quite active on Facebook, Snapchat also. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do there?
Obviously there are many people who, for whatever reason, either don't have access to a mosque or are occupied so much in other commitments that they're unable to visit me and meet me at the mosque. So obviously I need to provide other platforms in which they can communicate with myself. So that's why I use platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat and WhatsApp to keep in contact with these people.
Tell me, you're not a Leicester fan, are you?
I can't say. I'm from Leicester. I've spent most of my life in Leicester, so I've got to stay in the middle.
It's the hardest question I've ever asked you on this show.
My parents are probably tuned in as well today from Leicester.
Morning to all our friends at Hartbury College. You'll have a brilliant tour around the mosque today. You do this so often, don't you? November, why? November for you has been crazy busy.
November and February seem to be the busy time of the year for me at the mosque. We have more schools visiting, more people contacting the mosque for different issues during these months. Why? I'm not really sure, but it does quieten down in December.
So I understand that one of the things you do outside the mosque is you're a part-time teacher, but you don't just teach people in school outside the mosque, but you also welcome hundreds and hundreds of children into the mosque for mosque visits. Now most of those children are non-Muslims. Why is it important that the doors of the mosque are open and that people can come in to meet somebody like yourself?
Unfortunately, the perception of many who live in the UK is that Islam is a religion that promotes evil, that oppresses people, that prevents people from prospering in their lives. To show the correct meaning of Islam, it's important that we get the correct and true message across to thousands and thousands of people.
One question I would like to ask you is that despite all the different challenges that Muslim communities in the UK are facing today, are there any visions which you have, any ideas or suggestions which, if we were to do things this way, it would bring solutions to many of the problems we face?
I think the best way to do this would be to open the doors of our mosque. Alhamdulillah, we do open the doors to as many people as possible, but there are still people on the outside who feel a mosque is a place where we can't visit, we can't go, and some people actually see it as a no-go zone. I actually remember coming across an individual who said to me, I believe that mosques are used to promote evil. So I invited him to the mosque and I said, have a look for yourself. And very quickly he changed his view and perception of the mosque, and he understood that no, mosque is a place where people connect with their Rabb, and it's also a place where people find peace in their lives.
Imam Hassan, thank you for your hospitality, thank you for your time, and thank you for your wisdom.
We welcome you.